I see so many people going, oh, video is changing forever because of AI. I know you've got your thoughts on it. I've got my thoughts on that. Where does AI fit into all this with video?
Yeah. So that's a great question. And I think that it is shifting different things. It's not changing the principles, it's just changing how we get to those principles. So the way I would describe that is people are going to connect with that person that they see on video, sharing their expertise, sharing their skills, having that authenticity. Now, if you're now researching using AI, or even if you have AI avatars for specific businesses. So certain
Hmm.
businesses that can be a good fit, others it might not. Now, we don't necessarily have a chapter about that in this book. We do talk about how to use AI when it comes to researching ideas for your videos. Basically, we have an infinite kind of prompt that you can use, or questions that you
Oh,
can
I
ask.
love that.
Yeah, to figure out like how you can come up with limitless video ideas. So here's all of the questions that your ideal clients are likely asking. You just describe, okay, here's my business. Here are these core questions. There's 10 core questions. And then AI can go out there and it can give you infinite ideas for videos to be able to create videos around those questions. So an example of one of the questions would be, what is the deepest fear of my ideal client that is keeping them up at night? And how can I help alleviate that fear?
Oh,
So
I love that.
for example, I might get something that I don't even realize. So, in the process of writing this book and in the process of working with clients, one thing that I realized is more common than I actually realized was people being, but they don't share it that often, but not really feeling as comfortable on video. They want to know the tips and the secrets for how to actually show up on video. And that could, maybe that pops up. Like they're actually afraid to appear on video or how they actually look. And here's the thing, I can resonate with that because, even though I have my YouTube channel for a long time, at one point, I wasn't really conscious of how I looked. I had more of a faceless tech channel, right? When I put my face out there, on video, I had all these thoughts going through my head, about what people would think of me. And I can relate to that. And that's something I share in the book. And I also share some tips and strategies. One, for example, is we're on FaceTime and Zoom all the time, right? You're on video all the time without realizing it. And so that's something where the AI can actually pop up and say, hey, here's a fear or insecurity that your ideal clients have that maybe didn't even realize.
Mm.
There's other parts of using AI too with the targeting. So I've got my own AI ad targeting software, keywordsearch.com. We've talked a little bit about that before.
Yep.
And that basically allows you to target your ideal clients with figuring out what they're likely searching for, what content that they might be watching. And you can use that data and websites they're going to and sync that to Google Ads. So the cool thing in the book is I don't have to teach really in depth how to do like all the technical pieces of targeting. Now we do talk about, here's the principles of targeting, here's what you can do, here's how it works. I do want to make sure that I share that, but I share all that and then I say, hey, and here's how you can utilize the software. Here's a little bit of time for free to check it out, when you get the book as well. And the software can actually do a lot of the targeting for you. So we talk about AI at a few different spots. This AI video with video creation, that's not necessarily in this book, but that
Hmm.
is something that I am talking about more and more with clients. So maybe there's a follow-up with that. But I think that's changing so much. Even with that, it's how you get to the point that you're creating the content based
Mm.
on what the book outlines, essentially.
No, that makes perfect sense. Well, one of the things I wanted to ask you about, and stepping away from the book for a moment, is I see a lot of confusion when it comes to AI video with the average business owner, entrepreneur, marketer. And there's this perception that I can go in and I can say, I want a 3-minute promotional video about this product, and that they basically can say go. They can wait a minute or two and they're going to have this perfectly polished, amazing video. You and I both realize that that is a pipe dream that we may never get to. Not going to say we can't, but it's a long ways down the road. Video is made up of a lot of clips that tell a story that are then edited and put together in order to create an emotional connection with the viewer at some level. Talk to me a little bit about if you are seeing that, and how do you how do you recommend to those people, and again, I get it, we're not involved in video, we don't know it, that think, AI video is a simple prompt to 3-minute video that maybe I'm wrong, maybe you disagree, but I don't see that we're anywhere near that happening at this point.
Yeah, I think that's the thing is people are mistaking a tool that can help you in different points as something that can completely do everything for you. The other thing
Mm.
that I see a lot of people talking about, I'm sure you can resonate with this too, is people are saying, "Oh, this is going to, destroy video or everybody's going to have access to this." Well, what it's going to do is just going to raise the minimum bar, but
Mm.
you have to have there's always that degree of human creativity and ingenuity. So one of the things I talk about and I actually do talk about this in this book, but I pertain it to targeting. Is the concept of seeking alpha, right? And I'm sure you're familiar with that, but anybody
Absolutely.
who's watching or listening isn't familiar, right? It's getting alpha returns, returns that are better than the average. You've got your beta, your baseline returns, you got your alpha returns. And so if you think about the stock market, so back in the early days, before algorithms, before all that took over the stock market, you just had to be a better trader, have a better human strategy than the person sitting next to you. They were all in New York, just be like, all right, this person's gonna trade this way, this person's gonna trade that way. If you had a better human strategy, then you would win. But what happened is soon there were algorithms that took over. And so then if you were one of the first people to have an algorithm, then all of a sudden you are absolutely cleaning up in the stock market. You're beating everybody else. But what happens? Everybody gets access to algorithms. All the traders get access to algorithms. Now you've got two robots playing chess against each other. It's a stalemate, right? They're both playing the same rules, the same things. You got two robots that are going out there and trying to get the best trades. And so it creates relatively, at least compared to the algorithms, an efficient market. It creates a beta baseline returns. You're going to get the average returns, like buying the S&P 500, right? Now, I'm not saying there's things necessarily wrong with that, but as entrepreneurs, we are seeking alpha returns, returns better than the average. And that's what they
Hmm.
did in the world of Wall Street as well, is they went out there and the best firms today are the ones that combine an algorithm with a human strategy and core principles, which actually Ray Dalio talks about inside of principles, right? It's a combination of it's one of the successful things that he did with Bridgewater was actually combining algorithms with the principles that they had of investing in their strategy that they designed to actually get better returns than other people. And if you can combine those two things, that's incredibly powerful. It's the same thing that I talk about with targeting, right? I liken, some of Google's pre-built audiences to like buying the S&P 500 when you can actually build your own custom audiences and actually
Mm.
train the algorithm. But it's the same thing with video, right? Wherever the push a button, get a video out ends up, which like you're saying, it's not at the point where it's close to,
Yeah, I don't think so.
yeah, exactly. It's not there. It's not there yet. Wherever that ends up, though, that's your baseline. And so now, how can you perform better? That's the human element. That's the strategy. That's the piece that you put on top of it. It's the and maybe it's the way that you prompt it, right? Videos now, we're not cutting film anymore, right? We're going in and actually, editing, and now AI tools help you edit. So it was
Hmm.
cutting film to then, Adobe, or it's probably a step before that, but let's say it's Adobe Premiere to, now I'm using Descript. And then, okay, maybe the next iteration is you push a button and you type a prompt and it's going to edit it a certain way. But what's the prompt that you type? How do you do it? What's the content you put into it? There needs to be something that's going to have it be better than the results. There's going to be winners, there's going to be losers, there's going to be the average, right? This is just raising the average, so you just need to be better than that, and that's what's going to allow you to get the best results.